This is in continuation of Elasticsearch integration with IAPS. In this and in the upcoming videos, we'll be discussing about the search service APIs, the search request and response classes, the search control and the search templates, logging debugging using search web APIs, and overriding search provider and indexing the dynamic pages. We have the search documentation at search.help.apps.com. We have five namespaces here. The framework does search will be having the search service APIs and the request and response classes. The last three is all about the search control. Uh, the search provider will be having the Elasticsearch service integration. I will briefly go through all these classes. The autocomplete request and response will be used for the autocomplete feature. The base response and request are the base classes for the request and response. The bulk index request and response are used for the bulk indexing the documents. The count response will be used for the search term report and will be having the search term count results. These three will be used in the admin. The date time filter will be used to filter the document based on the date time. We can see one example here. We have set this creator date as the document property on which we want to filter the documents, and the date values are given in these properties. There are some other properties which we can look up here. The delete document request will be used to delete the documents from the index. Delete index request and the response will be used to delete the index itself. The generic request will be used to add some additional property with different operator like and or and not, and this will be again going to the search request class. The index request and response will be used to index one single document. Numeric range filter will be used to filter the document based on a numeric field. The next three classes, the range refinement, and range refinement classes, will be used to filter the document on a specific range field, which is like a price range. We have a specific house test site where these price range filters are there, which are using the range refinements. Then we have the search count, which will be the like how many documents are indexed, pending, and in error state for each of the document type. The search properties will be used to filter the result based on the document properties, which we can see one example here. We are setting this attribute, this document property as attribute dot collection, and the value here. The search query request class will be used to pass the search query in the full text search property. The search request class is the main class which will be used to pass to the search service get API. We have already gone through some of the properties like date time filters, the numeric filter, the range refinements. We'll go through some of the one which we have not yet touched, like the full text operator by default, which is OR, but if you want we can change to AND. The full text search, which will be the text in the search text box. Indexes, by default this will be set to the front end index, but if we want we can change it and we can supply other indexes also here. Then we have this search object type by default, which is set to the pages asset file and the dynamic pages, but if we want we can change to like product if it is a product search template. So we can override this property, this dot object type, to the product one. I will go through this in detail in our base search control. Then we have this type search request, which is again if you want to have additional property with different operators, then we can use this type search request, which will be using the generic request class as we discussed earlier. So this search request class can be populated with all these properties and passed to the search service get API. And then we have the search response class, which will be populated with the search result and the document which has came back from the search service. And then this is the search service which is having all the APIs. The front end template will be using the get and get autocomplete APIs. These other APIs are used by the admin, but definitely we can use it if required. We'll see the get one. Here is a simple example of the search request class populated with the full text search, which will be the value of the search text box in the template, which we can pass to the search service get. And if we want, we can pass all the properties of the search request. We can populate all this property of the search request and pass to the search service get API. And the last three, search term count, request and response, will be used for the search term report in the admin. Then we have this base search control. um, so in this I will go through some of the properties of this class, like range refinement input. This property is a virtual property in the base search control, but if required we can override in our search template and set these properties. And same as like refinement input, this will be a virtual property in our base search control, and if required we can override this in our template and pass these refinement input. And about others properties and this method, we will be having a look when I am doing the search template control demo. And this is the product search control, which will be inheriting from the base search control and will be overriding the properties as and when required, like the range refinement input, the refinement input, and will be providing like which is the button search, which is the search text box, and also other properties. If required, they can be overridden in the search template, which is the product search. And CMS search, which is having the which will be searching on the page, asset file, post, and the dynamic pages. This can also have the refinement input, like if the CMS pages have any taxonomy which they want to filter the documents on, they can use the refinement inputs here. um, I think that's it for this video. In the next video I will be creating a search template. Thank you so much.